This session brought to you by Odyssey Games for pre-orders and sealed product, CCG Prime for tons of singles and supplies, Cardo Doko for international rulers looking for product, and fowtlibrary.com for articles and wonderful deck lists, as well as our guest lecturer members Vite Ramen, King Pearlshine, and Mognite. Class is in session. Hey there, rulers! Welcome back after a long week of Force of Will to your favorite ever live Force of Will podcast. It's Office Hours featuring myself, Emo73, and I'm joined as always, but this time, by Paul Reisman. Paul Reisman, how are you doing?
Oh, hello. I'm not used to this.
Yeah, it's different. I have you in a different position on screen because we're doing something a little different tonight. This is something that Paul and I have been wanting to try to do in person for a bit, but it just hasn't worked out. And Mike was gone, and spoilers haven't really started yet. So we were like, yeah, let's do this. Woo! Woo! So before we get started, just want to say a huge thanks to Gary Felix for joining us, a new channel member. Appreciate you, buddy. If everybody... oh boy, looking at deck lists. No, we're going to jam some games. Appreciate you joining as a member. If the rest of you want to consider supporting the channel financially and joining as a member, you can click the join button down below, join the channel, and get access to the emotes and all kinds of cool stuff. Goes to also financially support the channel, which we greatly appreciate. You can also go get your pre-orders in for War of the Sun right now from Odyssey Games. They got boxes for pre-order right now. You can go check the link in the description to go straight there. And don't forget, every box of War of the Sun has that bonus contract pack included in it, which is going to be nice. So be sure to get those pre-orders in. So the idea of the night is that Paul and I were looking at all of the Reflect Refrain support and saying, you know what? I wonder what it would be like to have old Reflect and Refrain with the new stuff versus new Reflect and Refrain with the new stuff. So that's what we're doing. I am playing New Age Reflect and Refrain with Tag, and Paul is playing old Reflect and Refrain. Untested.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and get our game started here, and we're just going to see how it goes. And feel free to hang out with us in the chat and kind of let us know. And don't tell Paul what I have in hand.
Or do, and help me with.
That's fair.
Or do. Go well.
I mean, it might. The biggest thing to me is the fact that I don't have natural counter generation. That to me is kind of the big difference, is I have to find cards to generate counters, whereas you do not. You just get to make them every turn. And so things like Magical Rabbit get a lot better for you. It probably feels better to be able to play Magical, the thing that counts the number of counters you have. You should be able to see the game on Untap if you aren't already here, bud.
Yeah, I'm just... Oh, there it is. Sorry, I was just getting all of these old deck lists.
Yeah, no worries. So having access to that, I think will be interesting, because it also means you don't have to play things like Phoenix, or the little Sorcerer or Wanderer's Castle or stuff like that. Piggy Bank is still, and cards like Piggy Bank are still just as good for you, right? It has the same value for both of us. So that's the big interesting piece here to me on this one. I get the advantage of having the mastery stuff, but it's a trade-off. Let's go reveal all to me in the sideboard here. Let's see who's gonna go first, and let's do it. I rolled a 3. Certainly feel like I'm gonna go second.
Probably. There we go.
Yup. I'll take my coin. Thank you very much. Ooh, okay. Pretty good. If any of you guys in the chat have any questions about any of these cards you're seeing, or kind of why we're playing them, that's also one of the part of things tonight, is we'll talk about kind of how the decks have been updated, or how the choices of what support cards went where for each different version of the deck. That's kind of the whole point here too. And we're just kind of hanging out, having a chill time. Ready, bud?
Not quite.
Cool. Yeah, you test game 1. Here we go.
How do I draw? Forget how to draw. I guess draw 2.
C. The C key.
Yeah, sure.
That works too. Ready?
Sure.
Beginning of game trigger. Here's a rogue spectator.
Oh, look.
And now, take it away.
Look, the 8-pack man. I will call stone.
If someone cosplays as a Rogue Spectator at ValFest 3, I will be very impressed.
That's not what I wanted to do. I'm
Nope.
failing. How do I get a stone, Jeremy?
Oh my gosh, just left click on your stone deck.
Yes.
And then draw to play.
Okay.
There you go. It's been too long.
It has been way too long.
Yeah, Rubber Green. Maybe at the time in the end we can see the deck lists for sure. Absolutely. We can talk about deck lists for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm going to filter.
You got it.
Oh, look, a card.
Don't forget to add your counters to your ruler.
I thought I did.
There is no counters on your ruler currently. There you go.
Weird. I will. I'll put that on the bottom.
I also do think that's one of the big advantages you have over me in the sideboard is the fact that like Reflect and Refrain don't actually have a lot of draw power at their tag variant.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
We don't have a lot of card selection power until we've contracted. And so you just get to like shape the hand as we go, which I think is very interesting as well. Sacred Tree, can't stop it.
Yep.
Ooh, I do like that. Banish to recover a J/ruler you control, so you can judgment. I like that a lot.
I want to use this card a lot. There's just been no place for it. Okay, I will pass.
Okay. I'm gonna call stone with Refrain, Moonshade, and then we're gonna tap Reflect to play Wanderer's Castle.
That makes sense. So you're gonna get stuff. Draw a card, put a magic color. Okay. I will roll draw, please. I said draw. There we go. I forget what's the shortcut to
X.
type everything. Okay.
There we go.
There we go. We're getting there. I will. Oh god, this is gonna be awful. Can I just peep one?
Yeah, peep one. What is this? Casually playing? Yeah, we just are like we've been wanting to do this Reflect Refrain kind of old versus new for a bit, and so that's what we're doing tonight. Just kind of hanging out.
I will filter.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good with the 4C stones. Oof, see that card and then immediately get the chance to draw it every single time if you want. That's pretty dope.
That's what I thought. I was like, that seems pretty good.
It does seem pretty good.
That's how we do it. Okay. There we go.
Shift myself a little bit so the chat can see more. Should get some music to set the mood. I can make that happen, boys.
Yeah, please do.
1 second. Get some music going. Well, that's way too loud. Chat, you'll have to let me know if the music is too loud for you guys. Oh, that does feel like it's going to be like super loud for the chat, though. There we go. That's probably better. It just comes through super loud, I think, sometimes. Did you pass? Sorry.
I was thinking about things.
Sure.
Boom.
We are passing.
We are passing.
Okay. Okay. I can make it even quieter. I can go down to 1. There we go. I'll do 2. It's like finding the right balance of the audio can be a little bit tricky. There we go. Okay, they tell me that this is a good level, so that's good. Okay, end of your turn. We're going to pay 2. And we're going to toss a Phoenix to the grave to get a magic counter.
Sure.
Counter. And then drop a turn.
Yeah.
And then magic counter with Wanderer Castle.
Mm.
And then recover.
Good to me.
Call with Reflect. Ooh, second Moonshade. I'm really prepared to burn myself to death here.
Is that other counter your Energize?
Yes, Reflect
Okay.
has my Energize, Refrain has my magic counters.
Okay.
And then I'll pass turn.
At the end of your turn.
How dare you?
Fool. I will. Rabbit Princess.
Sure thing. Sure thing.
So let me just make sure I do this correctly.
So draw one. And
Then I discard
banish
or
or
banish.
discard. And then draw. Oh yeah. Yeah, you got a How to Do Your Box Bonanza event code. The new tag rulers twins are too slow in putting counters. They're not as fast as recent competitive decks. I mean, they're grindy. They're designed to be grindy for sure.
Oh.
Might need some filtering to not hurt too much. Nah, I'm fully committed to how much I'm going to be burning myself to death.
Okay. So I discarded a Black Witch and
then okay,
banished Atlas.
Sure thing.
Drop
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing in recovery.
Yeah, how Jerry, how did your Box Bonanza event go?
I will filter.
Yeah.
There we go. And I will tuck. Callstone.
Filter before we Coldstone. Okay, interesting.
Okay.
Ooh, Wolfgang 2.0 took first place? That's pretty dope.
That is pretty dope.
Ooh, Magic Stone Research. Our decks are going to be so similar. I'm going to respond to the cast of Magic Stone Research Institute, I think.
Sure.
Tap Wanderer's Castle to add a counter.
Sure.
Pay 400 life.
Sure.
Cast Charlotte, Inquisitor of the Seventh Power, Inheritor of the Seventh Power.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
What are you
Effect.
grabbing? Yep.
We are going to. This is the cool trick. Mastery launch of Megiddo
Let's see.
to contract.
To contract. I will make you pay one more.
I will attempt to burn my will coin to do that.
That's right. You have a will coin. Yeah, go for it.
Cool.
Contract.
Put her over here.
Here you go.
And I'll face. Trigger Phoenix Engrave.
In response.
Sure.
I will. Because this is contracted. It's on the field.
Correct. Has 2 counters on it. Sorry.
It's 2
Or 3
counters.
counters on it. 1, 2, 3. Just moves Refrain over to the side.
I am going to attempt to cast Magical Rabbit.
Ooh, so pay 1 to cast Magical Rabbit.
I have 3 counters.
So it costs you specifically 1
Gotcha.
as opposed to 2. So he will be at 8/8.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have a response. To cast of Magical Rabbit. Who is the target of Magical Rabbit?
Enter effect.
Mhm.
I'm going to try and attempt to kill your mover of worlds.
I will respond by burning 2 counters to cancel Magic Stone Research Institute.
Sure.
Okay. Awesome. My mover of worlds is dead. Get my Phoenix.
Sure.
And I'm back to refrain.
And so you should be down to 1 counter.
1 counter. So that Phoenix is a good old 4/4.
Okay.
Yes, Gary, because it is technically casting the card. So you can pay, you have to pay the cost, which you can pay the cost using mastery. So you can absolutely mastery the cost of the card that you're casting off of Charlotte. It's also one of the reasons why Birth of the Twin Princes is really good with Charlotte if you're playing Aristella, because you can just like keep a Birth of the Twin Princes like in your RFG and just like continually recast it, because Charlotte can put it back in the sideboard as opposed to the hand or the graveyard, which is nice.
That'll pass.
Draw for turn. Recover. Oh, I lost my Wanderer's Castle, by the way, because as soon as I have a J Ruler, it's dead. Call Stone. Draw to play. Wow, these Moonshades. Really, really appreciate them. Wanderer's Castle.
Yeah.
And then pay 4. And my Research Institute.
Sure.
Sack a Moonshade. Probably get a 4th Moonshade. Okay, cool. Didn't hit
That's
it. 4th
even
Moonshade.
better.
4C1.
Yeah.
Peep top 1. Oop, keeping that on top for sure. Wanderer's Castle to add a counter.
Sure.
And then we'll go to combat.
Kermit.
Currently 12 in the air with Phoenix.
I'll take 12.
Gain 12.
That does drain too.
It has drain. Yeah,
It
just
has
like your bunny
drain.
does. And then at that point in time, I think I pass.
Cool.
Yeah, I just forgot, Gary. I just forgot to get rid of it.
You
I
figured
should
it
have.
out.
We got there before I added any more counters, so that's what matters. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about with like your
Filter.
getting the extra counters just makes that rabbit just like so beefy. Filter?
Yeah. Yeah, filtered.
Cool. Yeah.
So you are big boys.
Charlotte's currently a 10-11 and Phoenix is a 12-12. And your Magical Rabbit is currently a 10-10.
Yes.
Mm.
I will attempt...
Oh, you're right. I did forget to draw a card off the edition. Thank you very much. I should do that.
The addition?
The Wanderer's Castle. When Wanderer's Castle gets enter, draw a card.
Oh, it does? Yeah, look at that. Card's good, man. Card's good.
It's a good card.
I'm going to attempt to attack you for 10.
I think I just take.
Sounds good to me. I will cast a piggy bank.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
I will...
Cast a second piggy bank. Oh, another Sacred Tree. Yeah.
I will pass. Oh, I gained 10.
Cool. Yes, you do gain 10. Draw. Before recovery, I'll pay 2.
Sure.
I'm going to cast a Dallas.
Dallas is here. Oh, wow.
It's almost like it's almost like in a white-based deck. These are good cards. I'm gonna pitch this. You know, I think I'm gonna pitch this number 13. In all honesty, and then recover.
Sure.
Could you pass the turn to me, my friend?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, the shortcut doesn't work.
It's true.
Call stone. Draw play. Hit a firestone.
Interesting.
Dig that, dig that. Well, I gotta cast Rogue Spectator somehow.
This is not incorrect.
Let's go to combat.
Combat.
This is 14 in the air.
14.
Beefy. Phoenix be beefy.
Do I really want to take 14?
I don't know, do you? It's a lot. Especially since
14.
I'll also be gaining 14.
I'll take 14.
Oh, okay. In response to no blocks.
Sure.
Add a counter onto refrain. So it's 18 still, potentially.
Cool.
Cool. Up to 48.
Mm-hmm.
Pass?
The end of your turn.
Ooh.
I will Dispelling Stone, targeting your institute.
That's rude. Do I? Yeah, that's fine. I don't think that's something I care to fight about. I don't think I guess I should say I don't feel like I need to fight over that right now.
And then we will shuffle.
Yeah.
Cool. Drop a turn.
Drop turn.
Piggy bank.
Piggy bank.
Bacon. Recover.
Get after it. Oh man, I'm just staring at that Paramita and I'm like, man, your refrain's gonna flip and like I don't know if J Ruler eat for something that doesn't have stats.
That's real.
That was a really clutch magical rabbit for sure. Well, let's see. My Phoenix is currently at 12-12. Your bunny is currently at 10-10.
And it could become a 12-12 this turn.
It could become a 14-14.
Oh, that's true. Because I can pop it with Piggy Bank.
Because you could do the mode. Well, even if you just do like the reflect mode to give it +2/+2, that also puts a counter on reflexive refrain.
Yeah, so you just
Boosted to 14. I mean, that's not bad.
Oh man, these are the choices. You also have 4 will up, which is like
I do, and
not
reflect,
fun.
Right?
Yeah. So you can like do awful shenanigans to me.
It's true, potentially. The Phoenix is killing you right now, though. That's for sure.
That's for dang sure. I'll call Stone.
Sure.
Ooh, for C.
Phoenix to me is just one of those cards that like it's just never dead. Like I mean, like it can be if you can't get it to the graveyard, but like it's just very. I mean, it's just very hard to. It's just gonna keep coming back over and over again. If it didn't have Drain, I think it would not be worth playing. But the fact that it has Drain is just like, oh my god.
It's just like, oh, it's on the field now. Kill it, or you're just gonna give me a whole bunch of life.
Yeah, because it can just get you so much life so fast with how big it gets.
Mm-hmm. That's real. Just checking things out here.
Piggy Bank should have 1 counter. If he taps Piggy Bank again, it'll have 2. Gary.
Correct.
He's only tapped it once.
I tapped it for the first time.
He tapped
in
it
my
the first time before recovery the turn after he cast it. So 1 tap. So now we're at the option to 2 taps.
Hmm. I will attempt to attack your Phoenix.
So you're currently just
A 12.
10.
Oh, a 10. Yes.
Currently just 10. I'm going to attempt to block with Dark Alice.
In response,
Sure.
I will tap Piggy Bank.
Sure.
I will banish Piggy Bank to deal it 10.
I might have a response to that. Let's see how this card works. You're going to deal 10 to it. Sure, it's dead.
Okay, it dies. I gain 2.
You gain 2 counters, so
Yes.
now you're up to 14. So now we're tied.
Tied.
So I will.
Shouldn't be tied. You're at 12.
Oh, that's right. I'm not pumped anymore. You be bigger than me. I'm gonna let that happen, and then in response to the drain trigger, I'm gonna go ahead and try to cast this Rogue Spectator.
I will Lorite in response.
To his enter effect?
Yes.
We're gonna fight over this.
Oh, interesting.
Fair spell.
Ooh, in response, we will Paramita Tree.
To make me pay 1 more?
Yeah.
Okay. Paid 1 more.
That would try and stop me. Thinking.
Addition. Chant. Resonator Stone. Oh. Okay. That's relevant.
Thinking.
No worries.
I am going to, in response to Fair Spell, keep the faith. Targeting Dark Alice.
Targeting your Dark Alice. Just have so many of the same cards. Sure, that's fine.
Dark Alice effect.
Mm-hmm. No response.
I will banish Lorite.
Sure thing. Well, he's not on field yet. I Fair spelled him.
Oh, he's not on field. That's right. Here, let me put it. I will banish. I already drew the second card, so hold on.
No worries.
Let's do some cleaning up here. I will banish my own Dark Alice.
Okay. Bye, Dark Alice.
I will banish this stone.
Bye, Stone.
Your favor spell kills my Lorite.
Cool.
Still before the Rogue Spectator.
Okay.
Keep the faith in my own Lorite.
What a play. What a play. Sure.
Stop your enter trigger.
You got it. So we each gain. So you gain 14 and I gain 12.
Yes.
We did it.
It's here.
I'm proud of us.
I will cast a piggy bank.
Cast a piggy bank. Yeah, it's fine.
And then let me just rearrange stones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I pass.
End your turn. Pay 2. I'm gonna flash in my magical rabbit to shoot your magical rabbit that already has 12 damage on it.
Oh no! Gain 12.
I'll gain 8
No, you're
because I only have 3 counters.
That's real.
But okay, drop a turn.
Yeah.
Recover. Call stone with refrain. Amadeus the Holy Crystal. That's a white stone. Pay 1.
Yeah, so much better than chains.
Keep the faith, my Dark Alice.
Yeah, you can do that.
Enter effects.
Yep.
Draw. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. Banish the Rogue Spectator. He's served his purpose. Draw. That's also so good. Those are both just really good things to have in my hand. I think at this point, although it's not as good as... Oh, maybe it is. What did I put in here? I'll discard a Charlotte. I got it. Our life total's going in the wrong direction. They're certainly stable. Is what's happening here. I have all of the requirements for Dark Alice to have all 5 colors for stones. So my stones can gain the ability to produce all 5 colors.
Sure.
Combat.
Gambit.
6. In the air.
Doing 6. Take 6.
Cool. And then we'll do another 8.
I'm taking 8.
Cool. Gain 8. I'm gonna play my piggy bank.
Haha.
Finally saw that little bank. And then I'll pass turn.
Before my turn,
Sounds good.
we awakening.
Oh, so we're in your turn.
Not before.
We're
not
doing awaken.
before my turn. So like before you move to my turn, the very last priority sequence of your turn. I'm playing awakening.
So this is until end of turn. So these will stop being dudes on your turn.
Yeah,
It's not at the next end of turn banish. Like it's not at the next end of turn triggers. It's just at the end of the turn they'll stop being dudes. So if you want them to be dudes, so keep in mind they don't need swiftness because you've controlled them since the beginning of the turn. So you can just cast it during your turn.
Oh, sure, then I will do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna respond.
Sure.
Green. Memory of Worlds.
Put it back in my hand.
RFG's it, but you can
RFG.
recast it later.
Okay.
Okay. Draw for your turn then.
I will piggy bank.
Man was about to throw stones at me.
Hell yeah.
How dare you?
Recover.
Yes.
I will.
Jeremy, he's a mono ruler. That's correct. However,
He is.
Dark Alice, his
White
requirement says that if my graveyard has a stone, a chant, an addition, and a resonator in the graveyard, my stones gain the ability to produce all 5 colors. And we've got a chant, a resonator, a stone, and an addition. Dark Alice Rabbit Princess.
I will attempt to judgment and filter.
Filter's good. Judgment's also good. This man out here saying, I'm gonna be reflect refrain now. I'm gonna be refrain.
And then we judge it.
Alt face.
Alt.
Click on it and go alt face. Yeah, there you go. Ba-ba-bum.
I will attempt to cast Awakening from Remove from Play.
Oh, you son of a gun. This is why we meant to refrain. Don't forget to add one more counter. You should be at 7 counters.
Right, that's right.
Oh, you son of a gun. This man was like, I'm going to try to make it so that I can't contract in response. So here's what we're going to do. Green and white. Knowing full well that this is... Well, I'm trying to bait something out, I guess. Wanderer's Magical Storm to attempt to go grab a 1-drop wind and a 1-drop light champ.
In response.
Sure.
I will rabbit.
Oh my god, that rabbit is so big.
Rabbit is gonna pop your rabbit.
Well, yes, certainly. Okay. So your rabbit
do math
is
here.
16.
18?
Gain
Like an 18?
16 life. You have 7 counters, and it's a 2/2. So 14 plus 2 is 6.
Oh, that's right. It doesn't count all magic counters. It just counts.
Yeah, it just counts under
ruler.
J/ruler. Yeah. So 16. Gain 16.
So many clicks. Oh my god. Okay, you can search for stuff.
Ooh, man's gonna let me search for stuff. Okay.
I mean, I have to. I can't tap my reflect.
Oh, that is right. It is tap the reflect.
Yeah.
It's not just burn counters. I was like, oh man, this is really good, but like, oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, refrain contracts,
yeah.
And we'll grab a reflect contract as well. Let's grab both of those.
Sure.
Shuffle up, and then we're gonna go ahead and hope that last spell is not fair spell, and we'll go ahead and do Memory of Worlds to contract and stop your Awakening Ogre's Ballista.
You can stop that.
I'll add a counter here real quick, and then alt face, and get rid of this Wanderer's Castle. We are at Memory of Worlds.
Is it? You removed it from the game again, right? Or did you?
Yes, but
it?
you can't recast it at this point. The second mode gets rid of it permanently.
Okay, so it's in grave, yeah.
It's still in RFG. It just
can't
can't
cast
ever
it.
recast again.
Okay.
Yep, and that'll trigger Phoenix to come back.
Yo.
And here we are.
And here we are.
Yep.
So it's just out here.
Yeah, it's just out there. Yep.
I will pass.
Cool. Attempt to draw for turn.
Yep.
Magic Power Big Bank. Get a counter.
In response to Piggy Bank.
Okay.
I'm just reading here. Hold on.
No worries.
You may gain your counter.
Piggy Bank has a counter. Attempt to move to recovery.
Yeah, I think Robert, if I would have remembered how reflect worked for like half a second, I would have flipped them at the end step instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like
Well,
going
you can't.
into your...
You can't. Yeah, you can't instant speed judgment though.
No, I'm saying I would have before I go into my end phase, I would have flipped him and then end of my turn that way.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to go for the Gruce Ballista play yet.
Yeah, because I was like, oh yeah, I can't cancel that.
That makes sense. I also
Yeah.
forgot about that. I was like, oh.
Yeah, you sequenced that completely wrong.
Yeah.
Old ruler.
Old ruler who dis.
This is refrain. She's a little girl.
I'm gonna
She
call
is
Stone with reflect.
Child of
Or refrain.
convergence.
Here we go. Wanderer's Castle. Let's look at this card real quick. It's a pretty good card. I do appreciate that card existing. Attempt to move to combat.
Yep.
16 in the air.
16 in the air. Okay. I do have a response. I gotta sequence this correctly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you were attacking me for 16.
That is correct.
I'm gonna tap piggy bank.
Okay. No response.
I'm going to attempt to remove all the counters and banish to deal damage.
To what?
To your Phoenix.
To my Phoenix.
Yes.
No response. 10 Phoenix damage has been dealt.
10 Phoenix damage. Still before the attack goes through.
Okay. Dog. I'm just noticing Ben being like completely asleep on the floor.
I am going to attempt to.
You have 9 counters, by the way.
I have not. Yeah, sure. I will remove 4. Just
Man, about to search. I honestly can't do anything about that, so search away. Man can search for any card he wants in his deck, folks. Literally any card.
I will end this tonight.
Ooh, that's... I might have to pick... That's a card I want to try to pick up. Oh, nope. Someone is definitely beating me to that card. As much as I want it, someone is definitely beating. I mean, I guess I can message. It's the worst that can happen. They say no. It's fair. Doing just live transactions and deals here on.
I am going to attempt to cast Windia.
Ooh, India.
Windia. Let me guess another card you have. Of course you're playing this card.
I'm playing 2, I think, in the deck.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna let Windia resolve.
I will attempt to ping your Phoenix.
That I will respond to.
Yes, you will.
I'm gonna use Recorder of Worlds to give it +6/+6 Eternal and Barrier.
Sure.
And it will also be adding an extra 400 to its damage because it's adding a counter. So
That's right.
it was already swinging for 16, and now it's swinging for 26.
Feel free to gain.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
$1 billion.
Up to, just a casual 9,800 life. It's all good.
That's better than Yu-Gi-Oh! Life points.
Yeah. We're gonna go in for 6 with Charlotte.
Yeah, she's
in
a
the
flyer.
air. Taking down a 4.
Yep.
Oh man, I could have just done lethal if I just popped the piggy bank. But what we are going to do is we're just gonna pay.
Almost a type in life.
I'm almost a Typhon life. We're just gonna go ahead and contract with launch of Megiddo.
Yeah, you're good.
Just get both the twins out here.
Yeah.
And then at this point, this card's bad, so like we're just gonna do it. Mastery Wanderer's Castle. It immediately dies. Draw a card.
Sure.
Just like it's a bad card. So I'm like, oh. And then what else are we doing here? I think we just pass.
Sure. Oh, I passed before flipping my reflect, right?
It's okay if you want to flip refrain at the end of my turn. It's fine. To go be back on reflect.
How to flip?
Default face. You should be able to do default face.
There we go.
Yep, there you go.
Cool. Recover.
Yep. Hey,
hello.
Java Diaz. Hello.
I command you to untap. Oh, you haven't given me the turn yet.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
You're good.
When you're playing Cardfight Vanguard but listening into Force of Will and you don't know how to play, Tony Gal, welcome. Glad to have you here. We actually just played. We just put out a how to play Force of Will video, a brand new one. I'm very proud of how that one turned out. Taking it from a bunch of little tiny videos to like one solid video. This is a website called untap.in Java. It's a free way to play online, which is nice. You have to know the rules. It's not automated, but it's a glorified JPEG mover that allows us to play card games.
That is real.
Gosh, that magical rabbit's very large. Oh, I gotta remember how many magic counters I have on this.
Yeah, 'cause that's relevant.
It is relevant because now we're on refrain time, so I can use them.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna enter combat.
Sure.
I'm going to attempt to attack your mover of worlds.
Attack my mover of worlds, and you are currently at 12-12.
Yes.
To my 8-8. How shall I do it? I'm going to respond by burning one counter from Mover of Worlds to attempt to shoot and destroy your magical rabbit.
Ooh. I will cancel that.
Lure it. So now your guy is down to still 12.
So now your guy is same.
Still 12.
He's still good.
I will attempt to block now with Dark Alice.
In response,
Sure.
I will Dark Alice.
Your own Dallas, this man says. Sure. Dallas is good. Those Lorites gonna get sent to the graveyard.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Paul, all your stones are 5-color too. 5-color stone.
Oh my god,
That's crazy.
what do I do? Yeah, that's fine.
Goodbye, Dark Alice. Gain your 12.
Woo. I was at 8.
You're
much
at
was I at?
4.
Was that
So you should
4?
be at 16.
I should be at 16. Okay, good. Um,
What are these other 2 cards? That's
Cancel
an institute.
me.
Yeah, I was about to say that's an institute.
Cancel me, daddy.
I saw those 2 cards coming. Those 2 stones. Yeah, we can't let the institute. You have a Windia. We can't let the institute resolve.
Yeah. I'll filter, I guess.
Sure. Because that institute resolves and Windia just goes, "Hey, what up, Phoenix?" I just cry.
I think you just win. I think you're because you.
I think
Yeah, you can stop my epics.
I think so. Because you're filtering. You're down to 1 will. So then at the end of your turn, we get an extra counter off of Piggy Bank.
Yeah, and this thing is a flyer.
And we keep the faith. Probably Dark Alice, just to draw a little bit more. And then banish the Dark Alice. Oh, gross.
Is that a 1 hour game?
No, we were talking for a bit.
Oh my gosh.
And then we go Magical Rabbit and Windia. And then, we're in fine shape.
I want to say that it's Halo, right? Who does the Force of Wind database?
Yeah.
He probably just hasn't plugged those in. I know they're probably on his radar, but
I know that promo artwork is low on Halo's totem pole. Because he's working on other stuff. He's working on a way for people to be able to just search by deck lists a little bit easier. He also, in the back burner, is working on an automated playing system. So he's working on that as well. And then so those pieces and so things like the secret rares or the alternate art versions of the cards from Vingolf's is kind of low on the priorities list because he is just kind of doing it independently. So getting a Discord message. Let me see what's up. Just to see what this is. Yeah, so yeah, that hopefully that answers your question a little bit. Okay. So I think the MVP of this was honestly getting the Phoenix early.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think if I didn't outside of the Phoenix, I honestly think this was pretty back and forth, right? I think it was just the fact that Phoenix flew was the biggest problem. Because your Magical Rabbit was gigantic. It was going to be hard for my rabbit to be able to catch up to your rabbit. So I think I needed to, especially when you popped the Institute, right?
Absolutely. I think you not letting my Institutes resolve was
fighting
glitch.
over the Institute, fighting over the early Institute also felt super important.
Yeah.
Which is why I went for the Charlotte to get to refrain. It was I'll burn some counters, I'll have a little tiny Phoenix, but I need to stop this Institute. So that just felt
I'm not even sure Windia provided a lot for this deck. Especially in the control match, it didn't feel good.
I think in this particular matchup, it's not super great.
Yeah.
Once I contracted Reflect, right? Because it's I'm always just gonna, and this has been the case from any green matchups where there's been Pharesias or ways to give instant speed barrier. It's just it's another we're gonna have to fight over this, but I'm always gonna make you have to start the fight so that I just have more resources available, kind of thing. It's like get ahead and then let the opponent have to fight about it. And the fact that Reflect just like gives barrier, like I thought for sure from that you were gonna save your search. You searched for the Windia, right?
No, I searched for what did I search for?
Keep the Faith?
I had the Windia in hand.
Sure. So I think like in that sequence, I think
No,
if
I
you
think I searched for the rabbit so I get instant speed, try and kill something.
Sure. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I think maybe the rabbit should have gone after Phoenix a little bit harder. You certainly killed the first one, but then the second one came back. I also think that if you had the opportunity, and that is one of the inherent weaknesses of like, I think there's a world where I might not have fought so hard with the Paramitas as well, and saved them to be able to do like multiple refrain abilities.
I agree.
Because I think if you had the count, like if you had even saved a single Paramita there, then in response to me trying to give the Phoenix barrier, even though you searched, you could have just recovered refrain and then bounced Phoenix back to my hand, which is the last place I want Phoenix to be. And that feels like that could have been a big shift as well.
Yeah, I mean, I considered putting the Phoenix back, like even just as part of that effect.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, then he's just gonna get more magic counters, and he's gonna have more effects, and he's already got like reflect and refrain, so it's like
the problem is that like the thing about Phoenix is putting it back in my hand when I've contracted is the best place to put it.
Yeah, because you can't get it back. If you just
I can't like just easily cheaply get it back for free. I've already contracted, so I have to just pay 3 for it, and it's like, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, to me it doesn't feel, especially when you have ways to like utilize those counters, it still doesn't feel good.
Sure, that's fair.
So I'm like, do I search for something?
Having both reflect and refrain out does certainly make it like that's what reflect and refrain in this tag format are trying to do. They're trying to get to like a 5 or 6 counters and then just like have both flipped, so that they have a lot of like flexibility. So,
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, for sure.
Do we want to profile these quick? Or
yeah, I can bring up. if you want to send me. Do you have it on Force of Wind?
I do.
If you want to just send me a link to it, and I'll kind of show this my list off while you're sending me the message.
Figure out how to get out of here. There we go.
Get out of here, Paul.
Leave.
So this is pretty similar to what we were playing. It's just kind of an updated. I'll move you out of the way here, Paul. This is kind of an updated version of what we were playing on the channel the first time we played Tag Reflect and Refrain. We just kind of cut some of the fluff and like some of the like reflect cards, reflect and refrain cards, and then added things to boost consistency and boost consistency and like narrow the focus a little bit, so that we didn't have as many just like dead draws, because that was the one thing in the version that we played for the channel the first time. It just had a lot of dead draws, and it was like so the big thing is we're down to 2 Windia instead of 3. 2 Keep the Faith, just a random number 13, which I think could easily get cut. I still don't know why I have just one number 13 in this deck. An Elixir's Love, that's a new addition, which I like a lot. The Magic Zone Research Institutes are new, mainly because we need some Grave Hate, but also making Reflect and Refrain bigger after they've flipped is very, very nice. And as you saw with like Phoenix, like it helps us feel more comfortable with things like Phoenix, because if we burn low on counters, Phoenix is still big. So like that's a piece there. 4 Magical Rabbits, the 3 Charlottes, which is a new addition. I really like this card a lot in this format. I've been going on about it in our like group chat about how I just really, really like this card. Up to 4 Piggy Banks, Magical Storms, 3 Phoenixes still, a Horn, 2 Farer Spell, 3 Dark Alice, only 2 Refrain contracts, because we have the 3rd in the sideboard to be able to grab, and I don't think we need more than 3 in general. I'm playing a single copy of Complete Rejection of the Wanderer Twins just because I want to. Because I like this card a lot. It's probably one of my favorite. It's also probably one of my favorite pieces of foul artwork like in existence right now. So like, if someone wants to make, looking at you, Converging Wells, if someone wants to make me a super high res Complete Rejection of the Wanderer Twins playmat, please, like, poor favor. 3 Wanderer's Castles, and then 3 Memory of Worlds mained. You could, I think probably you could bump number 13 off and put a 4th Memory of Worlds in the main deck. Like, that's an easy kind of switch. I just still, for the sake of people who maybe don't have a bunch, like, this is kind of an example of what you could do. Stone base wise, we're playing a little bit more greedy in terms of the different stones, mainly because Dark Alice helps, but also we get access to get better things with Institute, like I said. And then our sideboard cards are Rogue Spectator, so we always have a chance to be able to contract our own Reflect on our terms, Intimidate, Launch a Megiddo, Keep the Faith, Birth of the Twin Princes, and Dispelling Stone as a little utility package in the sideboard. Very, very nice. Let's see, what does tag mean? That's been answered. Do you think new rulers have power crept the old rulers? We've talked about this before. It seems that we talked about this at locals this past week. In terms of competitive viability, the oldest you can go backwards to like really feel comfortable with competitive viability is like Dark Tree, which is like Lapis Cluster, like middle of Lapis Cluster, right? Anything before that in terms of like tournament competitive viability, or even the other rulers in Lapis Cluster, have been pretty crept out, but that was also 4 years ago. So the fact that a ruler from 4 years ago, even if it's just one from that cluster, does still have some kind of place in the environment is still pretty cool. Did you send it to me on Facebook, Paul?
Should be in your Discord.
My Discord. There it is, right there.
Boom.
I'm gonna open this up. You did it on Untap instead of. Okay, cool. Hold on. I thought you were gonna send me the thing on Force of Wind, like the link to your deck list on Force of Wind.
Oh,
I was just gonna bring it up on screen.
Yeah, it's
okay, cool.
Force of Wind.
Cool. So hold on.
So.
That's okay. Hold on. I'm gonna build. We're doing it live. Let me just build this deck real quick. Paul's RR. Create deck. Paste deck.
Paste that deck. I'll make flat.
We make it work. We're going fast. Boom. Okay, we're up. Talk to me, Paul.
Cool. So we're playing OG Reflected Refrain.
Yeah.
Search anything. Just get a counter every single turn. Feels pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. Makes Magical Rabbit like kind of insane.
Yeah, I mean, and like that and Piggy Bank are probably the best cards that this deck got in terms of like its actual support.
For sure. I agree.
Magical Rabbit is definitely a win condition in and of itself in this list. It's just going to get huge and start dealing massive damage and just healing you a bunch of life. You put that under Research Institute, which you can get to relatively simply because you're filtering, but you also get to search if you do end up flipping. Research Institute and Awakening Group's Ballista, because Reflect Refrain is not a win condition in and of itself. So I was like, these are probably the 3 things I want to go to. And then Piggy Bank as a source of removal felt good in some ways. Did not get as many counters as I would have liked. I also didn't see this in my opening hand, so that would have gone a long way.
Yeah. You would have been at Magical Rabbit on turn 2.
Yeah,
which is gross.
Would have been very, very nice. So 4 copies of those. I'm playing 3 Dark Alice for searching and just for turning on my stones, but mostly for just getting through my deck. Is this necessary? It is to some degree, because I do like seeing additional cards. The problem is it makes you discard, so it's not really having you go up in terms of card economy. So that kind of feels awkward. So I don't know how I feel about that. Witch of the Fallen Kingdom and Exorcist Mage are just kind of like stun cards, which is also kind of like a fourth win condition in a sense. I got a bunch of stuff on board. I cast stuff out. I grab my own Pumpkin Witch, and then I just kind of go for game from there. Sacred Tree. This was just kind of like a pet card. I really like this card.
Yeah,
card's
we were talking
absolutely
about
insane.
trying to build a Kaguya deck with this, right? Like,
Yeah.
order Kaguya. That's something we're tooling around with for the channel if we have time.
Absolutely.
Before next set is Paramita kind of serving as a replacement for Hanzo, which is kind of cool because it's not an addition, it's a dude. Like it's a
dude.
giant tree. It's a dude.
With a turtle.
Yeah.
So like this plus like Research Institute is kind of nutty because it's just an eternal barrier, which is really nice for everything except for flying, right? For Lorite, it's a green deck. I feel like Lorite's pretty standard in that. 3 Pharesia, the Virtuous Vampire, because
I saw this.
So I'm like,
Natural
that's who's
barrier.
green. 3 Windia.
Is there a world? So is there a
Okay.
world where you think this might turn into 2-drop green Pharesia instead?
Maybe. I really like the fact that it's flying barrier just naturally.
The
so it
flying
means like
is nice.
So it means like you can't interact with it. And I really do appreciate that. It's not necessarily a win condition, but it can get in some like really serious damage, and it's
Sure.
low cost to the ground. So like most of this deck
And
was trying
dodges
to get
Fair
ones and
spell,
twos.
right?
It dodges Fair spell, so that's really helpful as well. It's just a much safer card. That being said, I would probably replace the Windias with either Crystallization or even Schrodinger's Cry for just some additional removal. I play 2 Alter Magic Stone Golem because I'm already playing a Diversity Stone list, so this seemed kind of like just add on top of that. That being said, I don't know how good it is necessarily.
Sure.
It's a good top deck, but I'm not seeing it enough for it to be like amazing. That being said, if I bump up to 3 or 4, it might even be better. 3 Dispelling Stone. I think Dispelling Stone is so good right now.
Yeah, additions everywhere.
It's so good. 2 Keep the Faith, just to get more mileage out of my 1-drops and do some additional drain and flying.
It also
damage.
can grab piggy banks back.
It can grab Piggy Bank back, which is so fun to do on my opponent's turn.
No, for sure.
And then just a Diversity Stone list, I prioritize the Versi Stones because I like to seek additional cards and then filter with Reflect. And then I just play 2 of the regular Special Magic Stones to round out the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. I think there are some tweaks to it for sure. I think that also, if we played this, like it definitely felt like in playing these 2 that I feel like the match could definitely go either way. Like I didn't feel like outside of just how big the Phoenix got, like once the Phoenix got established, that was where I started feeling safe.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, we're both draining so much life that like we're gonna be here for a bit, right?
It's gonna be a grind.
So it's gonna be a grind. And so I think to me in that matchup, seeing the 2 decks play, I think as we see that more and more and more, the matchup probably comes down to like how protect the Phoenix is. Because I also will say that like my deck has like 0 answers to that Pharesia, that 2-drop Pharesia with her natural barrier. Like I just don't have a way to clear it. And so like if that stuck, I'd be hosed. Like it'd be strong for sure. Especially because you could like swing and then untap it with Reflect so it can serve as a blocker, and then like there's just a lot of gross stuff that can be done there. So that's kind of cool that like the new cards gave old Reflector Frame some new cool stuff. And that the 2 decks play similar but also different. And it's not just like far and away that one's better than the other for sure. I do think that one of the advantages that my deck has is that access to the refrain, getting the refrain ability on your turn through Charlotte. That's certainly very good. But
Mhm.
overall, though, it felt like that matchup was like it came down to protect the Phoenix, and I just happened to have the good tools to be able to protect the Phoenix.
Yeah.
So
Or I'm like,
if
I'm thinking like either more just like generic removal, or even just like additional Magic Stone golems to put presence on field while also like negging you feels pretty decent.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think the deck just really would benefit from more casual removal and just honing it down, because there's like a lot of ideas happening. But if we just like pared it down a bit, yeah,
It
like
feels kind of like my first pass at the tag reflect refrain. Like I had
yeah,
an idea, and we played the first pass of it, and it was passable. But then playing it, we were able to figure out where to trim the fat and where to shore it up. And I feel like you could do a very similar thing.
yeah, very
For
easily.
sure.
It's interesting playing the deck now because it's not so. It has so many more cards to play with, and even though it has its own support now, it sort of feels like its own like reflect engine, so to speak.
Sure.
So like you're definitely playing some combination of white and green, but there's other things you could do. I know Robert Green in the chat was talking about doing something with Guardian Dragon, which I think is really, really interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
I considered like Prisia Guardian Dragon at one point, so like on my opponent's turn, I have bodies, and I don't have to sacrifice hand advantage in order to get those threats on board.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I said like going from OG Reflect Refrain and what they did in the environment to new Reflect Refrain now, and like how they built them, is it's like they took OG Reflect Refrain, they ascended them and converted them to contract rulers, and then actually gave them like ascended them in such a way that like because they're contract rulers, you have to play a Reflect Refrain deck as opposed to just slotting Reflect Refrain into whatever deck, which I really liked. Like we've been talking about like OG. I mean, I think that that game that we just played really showed like OG Reflect Refrain and new Tag Reflect Refrain feel very similar as like the rulers. Like the rulers themselves feel very similar. And so I really liked that. I really liked that about it. Like I feel like I'm playing like back in Twilight Wanderer, like playing Reflect and Refrain stuff, which is just like cool to do and like revisit. So yeah, nice little trip down memory lane here on a chill night. We highly anticipate that next week we will be jumping into spoilers. So be on the lookout for that this next week. Again, as we get ready for spoilers, if you haven't already, go ahead and consider getting your pre-orders in for War of the Sun. That is down in Odyssey Games. You can check those out. Also coming soon from Vite Ramen, they will be posting the rest of the Force of Will ramen blind bags that they will have available. So it's a 3-pack of ramen, and in one of the packs of ramen is a pressure sealed like promo pack of Force of Will cards of varying value. So you'll be able to pick those up when that website goes live, and we'll be sure to share it out. So thank you all so much for tuning in with us tonight on Office Hours. And as always, this has been myself, DMO73, and I've been joined by Paul Reisman. Until next time, class dismissed.
See ya.